Shalom, Shalom Mishpacha. Shalom Mishpacha. I hope you're doing great today. I feel great. It's another day that Yahuwah has made, and I'm just blessed to be here. I hope you are feeling the same way, and I hope Yahuwah is working through you, through your spirit, through your Ruach. What I wanted to cover today in this video is a couple quick reasons to leave Christianity and any other man-made religion, but I just wanted to breeze through these quickly because I have some other videos that are a little bit longer in detail. So I'm going to start naming my reasons, and then I'm going to give you some resources to look up on YouTube so you can start building a foundation within Yahuwah and within your Ruach. All right, Shalom family. As you know, I got my books to keep me on track, so let's go. Reason number one, I have the observance of the Sabbath is wrong. This is also coming from, it started with Catholicism, but Catholicism birthed all the man-made religions pretty much. So Christianity uses the same doctrine, even though they try to say they're separate. They use the same doctrine, and we'll get to it later on some of those points. But yeah, it says the Pope has authorized to make the Sabbath on day one. Nowhere in the scriptures does it give any man authority to change the weekly Sabbath. This is rebellion to the Most High Yahuwah. Not only is it rebellion, but it is lawlessness, and it is a mark. Scripture for Yahuwah's mark is Mark 30. Let me see, I got it written down. Sorry, Exodus 31 and 13. Ooh, can't read my own handwriting, so that's bad. Exodus 31 and 17 and Ezekiel 20 and 12. Also, Deuteronomy 6. The whole chapter speaks of guarding the commandments and them being assigned to Yahuwah forever. So that's first reason. Second reason is an ineffable name doctrine. Now you can look that up. The ineffable name doctrine, I spoke on it on some of the other videos I made. Basically, the rabbinic, I can't say that word, the rabbinic-ish people back in the day felt that it was the Father's name was too holy to utter or too holy to say, and they didn't want us calling on the Father's real name of Yahuwah, so they replaced it with titles like Lord and God. And if you look up L-O-R-D, Lord, in Hebrew, that means B-A-L, sorry. That means that's an ancient deity, and the scriptures talk all against worshiping B-A-A-L. So I just wanted to say that. That's what the ineffable name doctrine is. They practice this in Catholicism and in Christianity. You don't hear nobody call on the true names of Yahuwah and his son Yahusha within these church buildings. You never hear that. So while they're saying they're different, or Christianity saying, oh, we're different from Catholicism, then there's 2 points right there that they already share in common. The Sabbath day is wrong, and they both share the ineffable name doctrine. A third point, Christianity doesn't teach you who you are. Now, in my 30 plus years of Christianity, I have never heard a sermon preaching on Deuteronomy 28. Never. I can recall that all the Christian churches I've been through within my 30 plus years of practicing Christianity, never have I heard Deuteronomy 28 reminding you of who you are. You can identify the people or the Yehudim through the curses of Deuteronomy 28, and they always skip over that. There are a few books of the Old Testament that they might go over, like Adam and Eve, but they don't even teach you that Adam's first encounter with the evening, like when it first turned dark. They don't even teach you that Adam and Eve have another son besides Cain and Abel called YAHUAH. That's Eve's name, called Seth. Their other son is called Seth. And that was my third point. I jumped ahead of myself. They don't even tell you Eve's real name is YAHUAH. I mean, those are like information that you can find in the lost books, but none of these churches teach you that. Another thing, Sarai, Abraham's wife, they just usually use her, and when they bring her up about motivational speeches about getting pregnant later in life, but they never told you that she was Abraham's niece. Blows your mind, right? Yep. That was Abraham's brother Haran's daughter. When Haran was 42, he and his wife had Sarai. Look at the book of Yasher, chapter 9, verse 4. There's a whole bunch of things that they don't teach you. Did you know Abraham, that he was brought up with Noah and Shem? Again, that's in the book of Yasher, chapter 9, verse 5. Sorry about that. And you would hear more about Moshe, but you never hear about the Deuteronomy 28 warning of the curses. That is, that's the description of people who are the true Yehudian by the curses. It's undeniable. I apologize for the workers in the background, but hey, life is life. Moving on to point 4. Tithes is taught wrong. The scripture says in Exodus 23:17 and in Deuteronomy 16:16, verse 16, all your males are to come to Yahuwah at the appointed times, Feast of Unleavened Bread, Feast of Weeks, and the Feast of Tabernacles, which Christianity never celebrates. Yahuwah said, no male shall appear empty-handed. Offering is totally different, but the tithes, they'll say, oh, well, if you don't pay your tithes in the Christian church, then you will be cursed. Now get up out of here with that. Because first of all, tithing was never money. It was always the crops of the field, and it says that all through the scriptures. But I can go on long about that, and but I'm just supposed to breeze through these things. Point number 5. Christianity never celebrates the feast days, but celebrates pagan holidays. All Catholicism, Christianity, denominations do this. And that's another thing those religions got in point. Sabbath day is wrong. They celebrate pagan holidays, and they use the ineffable name doctrine. So those are just 3 things easily that you can put together that those two follow to a T. I mean, in the scriptures in Jeremiah 10, verses 2 through 6, it'll tell you Christmas is wrong. That whole practice was around before the Messiah, Yahusha, walked the earth. So how is it celebrating his birth? Also, look up Saturnalia, and you will find out some information. Another thing, the New Year of the world that the world celebrates is wrong. Again, the Pope changed that date. Pope Gregory, he changed it from April, which was in the scriptures, which Yahuwah said the scriptures would be. That's what the New Year would be, because the New Year is when he brought us out of Egypt. And he marked it. He said that day. But we have man, and they changed the New Year. And then they made up a pagan holiday calling you an April Fool if you celebrated Yahuwah's New Year at that time, and not during the time that they changed it to, for teaching reasons, January 1st. Because even that name The names of the months and days of the week are pagan names too. So you can look at these scriptures, Exodus 12, chapter 12, verses 1 through 20, Exodus 13 and 4, Exodus 23 and 15, Exodus 34 and 18, and Deuteronomy 16 and 1, and they all describe of the month of Aviv. Now, you'll have to look up what the month of Aviv or month of Aviv is, so you'll know. But basically, it's letting you know it's in the springtime. And the last point that I'm going to have right now is that Christianity says the law is done away with on the cross, which is not true. Family, I found 17 precepts, scriptures that says otherwise. I'm going to give you 4, but keep in mind, I found 17. And the first one is Yahu 5 and 17 and 18. Yahusha says, think not that I have come to destroy the Torah or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. Verily, I am saying to you, till heaven and earth pass away, not one tittle shall remove from the Torah. Earth is still here, and the Shamayim, heaven, is still here. So it didn't pass away. So even the Messiah, Yahusha, is saying you still have to follow the laws. Yahusha followed the laws. He walked it out perfectly. He didn't break any of Yahuwah's commandments. So there's the Messiah in one of the verses saying right there, no, the Torah isn't done away with. I say sacrifice my life for you for the law of sin and death. That means you don't have to do animal sacrifices anymore for your sin. But again, you don't want to sin because obedience is better than sacrifice. So you can uphold these laws, family, and celebrate the feast days and do everything and eat what you're supposed to eat. They say that it's done away with. No. And now I'm going to give you the other scriptures. John 3:4 says, whoever committed sin, transgression the law. That's Torah. For sin is transgression of the law. So sinning is breaking the law, aka lawlessness. Another scripture, Romans 7 and 7. And what shall we say then? Is the law sin? Yah forbid. Nay, I had not known sin but by the law. For I had not known lust except for the law. See, he's giving examples like, I wouldn't know what sin is without the law. So you definitely need to keep these commandments. And the final one I'm going to go into is Romans 3 and 31. Do we make void the law through faith? Basically, the belief of Mashiach, YAHUSHA HAMASHIACH. Do we believe in the faith? Does that eliminate the Torah? No, because Yahusha just said it in Matthew 5 and 17 that he didn't come to destroy the law or the prophets. So Romans is saying that, and Yahusha is saying that in Matthew. And keep in mind, family, that is Mishpacha, excuse me, using the Hebrew stuff. That is just 4 scriptures. And I said I found 17. 17. So, family, those are my reasons right now. You should leave Christianity or any other man-made religion. This video went longer than I would like it to, but hey, sometimes the truth, you know, you got to explain to people. What I'm going to do now is post resources of YouTube channels that you can look up and follow along with. So I'll recommend you pause the video so you can write these things down, and we'll go forth. There's going to be 13 channels I'm going to post. And with that, Mishpacha, I hope you have a blessed day. Yada Yahuwah, and all great esteem to YAHUSHA HAMASHIACH. I will see you later. Like I said, I'm going to let you see these resources and then pause them to write it down. And I'll see you in the next one. Shalom.